Alright, let's get it. Here we go. What's up, guys? I'm your host, Justin Morgan, and welcome to episode 15 of Success HS. Today I'm joined by my co-host, Mikey Payne.
Hey guys, it's Mikey here. Hope you're having a great holiday season. Today's guest is a leader within the Washington High School community and out. She is involved in a lot of different activities, which she'd like to explain right now.
Alright, so that brings us to today's guest, Gabby Motta. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Gabby. I'm a senior at Washington High School and I'll be graduating in June.
Alright, sweet. So I wanted to start off this podcast by talking about how you've built your reputation as a leader. As Mikey mentioned, you're in the leadership community and you represent the Washington High School student body. And so I wanted to ask you, how have you built your reputation over time at Washington?
So I got involved in leadership my freshman year, and since then I've been a part of the class, and I've loved it ever since. And we are constantly doing something new. Like every year we do new things, new events. We put on new dances, new rallies, new community events, and my job in the classroom is the community events. So whenever anyone has a recommendation for what we should do, I always jump on it super quickly. And we've been pretty successful with everything that we've done so far. So under my belt right now, I have about 8 blood drives and 3 Pause for a Cause annual cancer walks that we raise money for. And I've also put on a school-wide coin drive where we raised $1,000 plus in coins for Hurricane Harvey victims. And I think this year we're doing a new thing for the Make-A-Wish donations.
Sweet. And so a lot of people depend on you for not only the success, but the organization of these events, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you deal with the pressure of knowing that a lot of people are depending on you to organize these events and lead them?
So I normally deal with it by looking from the outside in. I always try and figure out what everyone wants, and I try and please everyone, but you obviously can't always please everyone. But I would say the pressure, it's not too bad because normally the stuff that we do is behind the scenes. I'm never the one at the rallies giving out things or talking on the microphone. I'm always doing behind the scenes work, or at the blood drives, I'm always doing stuff in the classroom rather than at the actual blood drives. So the pressure is definitely difficult though, because sometimes you don't know where to turn, but you always just have to figure out what your end goal is, and it takes time. You definitely have to fail before you can succeed. So, and I've learned that the hard way, definitely.
Yeah, so, and also staying patient, I'm guessing.
Yes,
is a
definitely.
huge key, because a lot of times when you're organizing a large scale event like this,
Mm-hmm.
people might not show up, or an email
Exactly.
or a phone call could get sent out and it was never returned.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to just keep at it and keep being persistent.
Exactly.
Also, I've noticed just, hanging out with my friends at Washington, just in the halls and stuff, you basically had a really good reputation,
Yeah,
Like,
thank you.
not to flatter you, but like honestly, people have a high opinion of you. And
Oh, really?
I was wondering, like, if you could explain a little bit to different kids, maybe in other schools, how they can kind of build their own reputation within like a social sphere, or just kind of maintain good friendships and a good overall image.
Definitely. So I would say just always try and do what you want. I definitely have gone out of my comfort zone, but I ended up not liking it. But if you always stick to what you want to do and you have an end goal, you should definitely pursue it. And you should just get involved as much as possible. Like, there's many things at every high school that you could do, and if it's not there for you, then you could create your own. Our schools give us a lot of resources, so we're able to do pretty much whatever we want as long as it's in like school board codes and everything. But definitely get involved and put yourself out there. I wouldn't say that I have put myself out there as much as I want, but I definitely have stepped outside of my comfort zone, and I don't regret that at all.
Yeah, like when you put yourself out there, it's really
Exactly.
reap good rewards for you.
Exactly.
It's been good all around.
Exactly.
Yeah, so just putting yourself out there, for all you listeners, just building that respect is just really important. And obviously it's paid great dividends for Gabby, and it can totally pay dividends for you. And speaking of putting yourself out there, you're not just in leadership. You're doing water polo, so you're an athlete, and obviously you have a really big social life being an ASB.
Oh.
Lots of people know you. And so do you want to just talk about how you balance your schedule with water polo and your
Yeah,
social
so our water polo season starts in mid-August, so 2 weeks before school, but that also is our leadership campus cleanup. So I'm at school from, depending on if I have morning practice, I'm at school from 7 to 6 at night. So it's about a 11, 12-hour day. So for the first 2 weeks, or the last 2 weeks of my summer, so like the first 2 weeks of my school year. But it's definitely hard to balance because water polo takes up like either 2.5 to 4 hours of my day, just depending on if we have morning practice in the morning, which is like weightlifting. But it's definitely really important to have a schedule. So when I get home from water polo, of course I have to eat because I'm going to be extremely hungry. But then I give myself a time slot of like 1 to 2 hours to do my homework so I get to bed by a reasonable time, because if I'm not in bed, then the next day, how am I supposed to get in the pool and do my water polo if I'm exhausted?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I also really, really strongly believe in it's the quality of time you spend studying, not the amount. So like if you stay up past 11 studying, that is not going to work with my brain. Like I know I'm going to the information's going in one ear and out the other. So it's definitely important to spend the time that you have studying, like really, really like put it to good use, because otherwise it's just going to be like useless and you're going to be exhausted.
Yeah, Gabby makes a great point about this, guys. If you have time on your hands that you're just free, you're on your phone, you're not utilizing, it's good to have relaxation and leisure time, but you don't want to overdo that, because once you can use that time to improve your studying, improve your extracurriculars or other things.
Exactly. And it's like really hard for me to even be able to sit down and like study, but once you find that groove of like put your phone away or like reward yourself afterwards, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of different tricks for managing study time. For me personally, I just reward myself for every increment of time I've studied. And so finals are coming up for everyone. And so for me, I just study for one subject, and then after that, I play 30 minutes of video games. Then study another subject, another 30 minutes of video games. So just whatever works for you.
Self-discipline.
Yeah, exactly.
Really important.
And also when things like start to break down, like maybe things aren't going well in your life for some reason, or an unexpected event comes up, or you're maybe just not in the normal flow that you're usually in. If you have those good habits and routines that won't leave you, you can always fall back on them. And
exactly.
You can create a nice pattern to your day that gives you a sense of security.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. And so you're a senior going into, first of all, how is the college app process going?
Oh, it's so bad. The CSUs, the California states, are not bad. You just have to put in a little bit of information about yourself and pray that the server doesn't crash, because the website's very glitchy. And then you just send in your schools. You do it super quick. You can apply to like 10 schools in like 30 minutes. But most of the privates, it's really, really hard because you don't know what they want. And took a long time for me to learn through my English class that it really just depends on, obviously your GPA and SAT scores matter, but if the person reading your application clicks with you. That's like for the harder schools that you have to get into, it's mostly about like admissions counselor. So I learned that. So I would say the privates are more annoying to do. And then the out-of-states are a little bit easier. But yeah, I'm done, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, also earlier, we were talking a little bit before the interview. We also had a great conversation. I wish we could have had that on here too. But you said you had like some, hints or secrets about college apps.
Gotcha.
Maybe some people may not know.
Yeah.
They can use the extra boost.
My big thing is start your CSUs early, because it literally takes, if you sit down and have all your information, it probably took me about 30 minutes to an hour to submit like 5 applications, because you just click the schools you want. And I'm also really strong on, if you don't want to apply to the school that you know you won't get into, save your disappointment and don't apply. Unless you want to take the leap and do it, I definitely highly encourage that you take that chance. But my big thing is, like, I'm just going to apply to schools that I know that I have a good chance of getting into, and then a couple that are a little bit reach,
like a reach
just so I'm not super disappointed. And it's really important to have backups and apply all over the United States or out of the country, wherever you want to go, just because you never know what's going to happen. Like, I'm completely lost right now. I do not know where I want to go to school. But I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and so speaking of not knowing what you're going to do, what are your future plans for career-wise?
Oh, so I really don't know. So I really like business management. I think that it'd be awesome to work in a business atmosphere, but I also really like psychology as well. So hopefully after college, if I get a degree, hopefully I know I'll get a degree, but we'll see what happens. But after high school, I still don't even know where I want to go, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm interested in like business marketing, business management, advertisement, stuff like that.
Cool. So
Nice.
like getting words out, promoting
Exactly.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very important
ASB
part of
work,
our
basically.
Yeah, ASB doing organizing events, getting
Yeah.
things set up. Also, just to promote our podcast right here, guys, we're already have surpassed 500 downloads, and we love the support. So keep it coming.
Yeah, and so I just had one more question.
Yeah.
I just wanted to shout out all my ASB people
Yeah.
over at my high school. And I know a lot of the freshmen in high school that have no idea the labor that goes into homecoming week.
Oh gosh,
And
yeah.
so, shout out to my friend, my Gabby, back at Valley, Eric, Christian, Joseph, all my ASB friends back at Valley Christian. I want to shout out to you guys. So, can you tell the audience what homecoming week is like and before homecoming week?
Okay, so before homecoming week, it's basically pure chaos until probably after. It's probably chaotic
The
even
whole
through
week.
the whole week. So we're prepping backdrops. We make a whole skit, 30 minutes, back to front. We do a morning rallies in the morning where we get up before the sun's even up and we just scream and lose our voices, and they're gone for probably 2 weeks prior. And I would say that during the week too, the setup is even more stressful because you're trying to beat the other classes because you've already seen what they've done. So senior class, you're like, oh, we've seen what all the other classes have done, so now we could take all their ideas, probably maybe steal them and make them better.
Yeah.
And then it's crunch time the day before our skit. It's crunch time. You have to remember your lines. We have to teach our whole class the dances. But we won this year, so it was all worth it in the end.
Nice.
She brings up another awesome kind of point there too, because a great artist, I forgot which one it was, but it was like a great Renaissance artist like Picasso or something, said that like any art that you have, if it's stolen, it's still good art. So
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say we stole things, but you could definitely make your like we do class skits. You can make it better by seeing the other skits.
Yeah, take
We've
different parts of
definitely
it and
we
put
added
your
some
spin on it.
gymnasts this year because we saw that all the other classes put their gymnasts in, and we put our cheerleaders
Yeah.
into. But yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so I feel like we could talk forever, but that's all the time we have for the actual interview part. So I just wanted to invite you to shout out your social media.
Oh, okay. My social media is Gab Motta with 5 A's at the end on Instagram, and then on Twitter I'm Gabriella Motta with 2 A's at the end of Gabriella and 2 A's at the end of Motta.
Alright, and for me, I changed my Instagram username. I'm no longer ClutchKid30. I'm now Justin.Morgan11. I grew up, guys.
All right, and for me, it's Mikey_Painbrain. Yep,
Sweet.
solid.
And then you can follow.
Pain brain.
That's right. You can follow our podcast at success.hs, no caps, and check it out. And you can check out this interview on Instagram. And so finally, I wanted to end this podcast with our favorite segment, Mikey's 3 questions.
All right, Gabby, so I'm going to start it off pretty simple here for the first one. It's raining right now, so what's your favorite type of like weather? Do you like sunny days or cold days?
I love it when it snows.
Okay.
It doesn't snow every month, but
Yeah.
when I do go to the snow, I freaking love the snow. It's so awesome.
Okay, yeah, awesome. And for the second one, are you more of like a morning person or a night person? Because I know a lot of us struggle getting out of bed, hitting the alarm. Like,
Definitely.
just
Okay.
like mornings,
100%
when you
night
hear that,
person.
it's like, oh,
100% a night person.
Yeah. So is there like any reason why you just hate getting out of bed or like?
Oh, because
you know?
senioritis is really bad. I could sleep in through 5th period and wake up and then be like, oh gosh, I should probably go to school now. And at night you have so much time. You don't have to sleep if you don't want to. You could just stay up and study or college apps or just hang out. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. And speaking of staying up late, there's also a Travis Scott concert tonight. So what are your plans later on today?
Heading to Travis Scott, Astro World.
Yes.
I might see you guys at school tomorrow. We'll see.
Maybe, yeah. I know a lot of my friends are going to that concert too. And they have a physics final, so good luck to their grades.
Yeah, study hard.
Alright, so guys, I just wanted to end it with just a quick reminder to leave a review, especially on this podcast. This has been a great interview. But just leave a review on this interview and leave a review for any other episode, and make sure to include your Instagram username so we can DM you if you win the Spotify Premium or Apple Music. And remember, the final day to leave a review to have a chance to win is December 24th. That's Christmas Eve. So make sure you leave a review before then. All right, so thank you, Gabby, for.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
of
And
course.
make sure to spread the word, get it out. We're doing some pretty good content here so far. I know you guys are liking it, and right now it's just exposure and marketing. That'll
Perfect.
take us to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're slowly getting to our goal. We have over 500 downloads, like Mikey said, and so with that, ending this episode 15. So tune in for episode 16.
All right, thanks guys. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.
Awesome.
Oh, that was so good.
Yes.
We got that part.
You can edit that out or you can leave it in.
No, leave it in. Leave it in.
Okay,
Wait,
thank you so much.
Let me take a picture.
Oh yeah, can we take a picture for my Instagram too?
For sure.
Are you gonna post this?
Yeah, of course.
Thank
Put
you.
it all over.
Hey.
Me and Liv have pass again early, so we're boarding early 5:30. Okay. Yeah, my friends are like, we have the pre-pass again to Travis Scott, and I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. I'm like, I don't care that much, and they're like about to spend like $70 on merchandise. I'm like, I'm gonna order some counterfeit on Amazon.
Definitely, can you go like to the side? I'm just trying to see if we can, so we can get all of them.
I like this.
Sorry, I'll take my glasses off.
Complimentary.
The candy cane. Yeah, take one if you want.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you though.